All right, welcome back to the Generation Z podcast, episode 19. Today is a very special episode. We have our first guest on the podcast, Mr. Charlie Lay. How are we?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you? All good?
We're all good, mate. We're all good. So, as you've probably heard in the intro, all the reasons we got Charlie on, so we're not going to go through that again, but we would just like to start, Charlie, with just a little introduction. So, what you do, your age, where you're from, all of that kind of stuff.
Sweet. So yeah, personal trainer and online coach. I'm from a little village called Eversley, so in Hampshire, near Camberley. And yeah, that's what I do. Personal trainer and online coach full time now. So
Sweet. And how old are you?
21. Sorry.
21. All right.
21.
Cool.
That's class. So yeah, first kind of question we want to ask you is, obviously you're a PT, but how did you start getting into fitness and kind of lifting weights?
Sweet. So it was YouTube, to be honest with you. It was YouTube mainly at the start. I think people like you probably know Christian Guzman, Mo Samuel's the big one. All the OGs, Joe Delaney, Shred Bundy. And that was mainly why. But the actual reason, obviously, why is always a reason, isn't there? The reason why was just confidence. Like, I wasn't confident at school. I was quite a chubby boy. And it was just that. I just wanted to feel better, look better, and feel better in yourself. So I started going gym, started watching YouTube. And actually, I watched YouTube for about 2 years before. And then I got the balls to go to the gym when I was about 17. So,
what was the reason why you weren't kind of going to go into the gym while you're kind of still watching YouTube? Was it just nerves or didn't feel comfortable?
I think it was,
what was it?
Yeah, a bit, but I think whatever anyone tells you, I've dealt this with clients as well, it's what people think. I think that's the big one. It is literally caring what people think. Yeah, 100%. It's most people won't go. Even people come to me because they're worried to go in a big gym because they're worried people think, and I think it's the main one. So yeah, definitely was that.
How influential would you say that fitness has been in kind of improving yourself, not just kind of physically, but also mentally? Because obviously you just said that you were scared, but then as you kind of got into fitness and started going to the gym a lot more, obviously your mental health must have just skyrocketed and shot up.
Yeah. I think I talked to my brother about it a lot. He's the same as me. I think it's a big one mentally. I think massively it just improves you so much. I think discipline is the biggest one. Because obviously you've got to stick to your diet, you've got to stick to your training. And I think it carries over into other areas. I think there's that saying, I can't remember what it is. It's like how you do one thing, how you do everything. So if you can discipline yourself in terms of diet and discipline yourself in terms of training, then you can do anything. You can discipline yourself, you can start a business, you can do this, you can do that, you can be in a good relationship. Do you know what I mean? There's so many different things it is to tally into. So I feel like it is how you do one thing, how you do everything. So if you can stick to a diet, get lean, get bigger, even if you can just go gym 5 times a week, that's discipline.
100%, I agree.
So massively changed me, massively in terms of discipline, mentality, and it makes you feel better as well. If you can get yourself up, go in the morning, get it done, or even in the evening, whenever you've got time, it just mentally makes you feel amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing, actually. In terms of mental health, one of the most underrated things I'd say is just exercise. Even if it is just a 10, 20-minute workout, it's 10, 20 minutes where you're just working on yourself. I think it's so underrated.
100%. Yeah, definitely. I feel like even when I train people, they'll come to me and you can tell when someone walks in if they're a little bit stressed or a bit anxious, or especially their first session. A lot of girls, especially, I train majority girls, and a lot of them you can tell. I say, all right, so you know, this first session, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then straight afterwards, bang, 5 minutes in, they're doing the squats, they're doing the dynamic warm up, whatever the stretches, and they're perfectly fine. It's just it makes you feel relaxed and just sounds better, doesn't it?
That must be that must be kind of a proud moment for yourself, like seeing these people and your like clients kind of grow, not obviously physically, but also mentally. Like they're coming into your sessions and they're kind of being completely new people.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. It's a weird one. It's a bit like overwhelming at first. Like you're right. Like they mentally grow. Yeah, 100%. I've never really thought about it like that, to be fair. But yeah, definitely. Like I've seen it. Like people will, or even you're scrolling through stories and one of your clients posts like a selfie which you'd never think they'd post before. You're like, bloody hell! Like your first really like they look sick. Yeah, but then you're thinking, oh yeah, kind of. You don't really overthink it, and then suddenly me thinking about it now, I'm thinking, God, it is because of you, I guess, isn't it? It's because of your training. So yeah, and obviously that's proof right there that obviously physical training is mentally so good for you, just in terms of self-esteem as well. Just make you feel so much better.
100%. I agree, mate. Bit off going off of that. Would you personally consider yourself competing or want to compete in the future? Because obviously, I know you've just come back from holiday. You're pretty fucking shredded at the moment, to be fair, boy. And you've come back. And would you kind of see yourself maybe having a year of just dedicated towards yourself and just like go for a competition and just see where you finish?
It's a hard one. I think you'll always think you boys are gonna resonate with me with this. I don't think I'm big enough, but I think you could train for 20 years and you still think you're not big enough. I think that's one of those things. So obviously basically now I'm actually getting coached by Josh Bridgman, which I haven't posted.
Oh, fair.
Okay. So yeah, I've just reverse dieted and I'm just going to a bulking phase. So now my time is I've always struggled to mentally put on weight. To be honest with you, even as a trainer, like I don't like it. I think it's because of where I was as a kid. So like people might look at me and think, oh, it's decent size, whatever, in the gym, whatever. Yeah, pump, yeah. But I want to really dedicate this year at least to putting on a serious amount of mass. Realistically, 2 years, and then I definitely would think about it. I'm not into like bodybuilding. I want to be like mental physique. I'd want to. Obviously, it depends on your physique, but I think I would consider it just for the mindset and just to say I've done it and just to be like, it's a challenge, isn't it? It's a challenge like anything.
Definitely.
And as well, it improves. The better I get, the better in shape I get. The more I learn, the better my business gets. So it's worth it. And obviously, for followers as well, it's worth it. If you get silly shredded like that sort of lean, then you're going to get some followers. But yeah, I definitely would consider it, but not yet.
Yeah, I think actually that's a good point you make there about you were saying you're getting coached yourself by Josh Bridgman. I think even if you are a PT and you know it, basically, it's always good to have somebody there just to kind of hold you accountable. And sometimes you kind of get caught up in yourself if you see the scale weight change, you think, or it's not quite good. But if you've got somebody to be like, nah, just relax, you can, like, you're fine. I think it is a good idea, no matter how far you are in your fitness journey. A coach is always a good idea, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things I haven't really put on Instagram, to be fair, at all. But it's one of those things, I'm not going to lie, some days I think, do I need it? Sometimes I think, oh, I do need it. But I think it is one of those things, there's another saying, isn't it? Like, the best coaches have a coach. Or like, you'll see, like, even Josh, he'll talk to like AJ Morris and all them or whatever, TM Cycles. They all speak to each other and they all almost coach each other, help each other. And it's like, I think people who are stubborn and are all the big I am and think, oh, I'm the best, sometimes they're the people who won't learn and won't take advice. And the more you learn, the more advice you take, the better you're going to get something. So I've always looked at it like, I'd happily post. Like next year when I'm leaner, I'll definitely post and tag Josh. Like, it's not going to detriment me in any way. I tell my clients in person. I've told most of my clients know I've got a coach. And some people would think it's like, I know some outsiders would say, oh, if he knows everything, why has he got a coach? But like that's their limiting mindset. Like, I want to learn. Yeah, 100%. You could train for 50 years and still not know about certain things, or still not know about reverse diet because you've never even dieted. Or do you know what I mean?
So true. I think we even said this in our last podcast. I think, like, you can never know it all. There's always going to be somebody that knows something that you don't. So sometimes it's good just to put your ego aside and just be like, the coach can help me, basically.
Definitely.
But I think just before we go into how you started your business and all that, you were at uni before you started that, weren't you? And then you dropped out, I think. What were you doing at uni?
I was doing computer science.
Really?
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
as well. Jesus, mate.
Do you not know that?
No. I knew you were at uni. I wasn't sure what you're doing though. But like, what was your parents' reaction to that then? Because obviously computer science would have been pretty decent pay, I would have thought.
Yeah. It was. Oh God, it was a hard time.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a scary one. So I was in Manchester. I was at Manchester Met. I absolutely loved the place. I still love Manchester. I loved it there. I've always been one for love. You'll see me on Instagram. I love going out. I love going clubbing. I love going festivals. And Freshers Week's the best 2 weeks ever. Like, sick. But I got into the sort of mentality that the only thing I was doing was tapping into my lectures, doing the bare minimum, and then I was going gym, and I was watching YouTube, I was going gym, and it got to the point where I was sort of like, you could say depressed state. I was doing that thing where you've probably heard it before, where people, what did I do? I watched YouTube until like 4, 5 a.m. and then I'd sleep, and then I'd wake up at like 4 p.m. and then I'd eat all my calories, go gym, maybe tap into some lectures. This was towards the end when it got real bad, and then I'd go sleep again, watch YouTube till as long as I could, 4 5 a.m, sleep the whole day again. I was just wishing the days away. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, it got to the point where I asked on the phone to my mum, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I said, I don't know. Like, I was following, you might know people like Eamon Gardsey and a lot of entrepreneurs. You might know of them. Most Samuels will know them. But I was following, so I was following all the fitness people and a lot of entrepreneurs, and I was just learning how you can earn money online, personal branding this, personal branding that, and I just thought, what am I doing here? I don't like it. Do what you love. Like, screw money. I was scrolling through jobs. Honestly, I was scrolling through jobs thinking, this is how much I'll be earning being a programmer when I come out of this. And then I was sitting there thinking, I don't want to be a programmer. Like, I don't want to sit at a computer. Do you know what I mean? So
I love that.
Yeah, that's what
because
I was doing.
I think a lot of people kind of, when they get into uni, they do get quite lazy, like, or their whole routine kind of just goes out the window, doesn't it? It's just like, it's all around going out, and literally for me, I was going out clubbing twice a week, every week for like the first, or maybe even going 3 times a week. It's just like, it literally, your schedule just goes completely out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then you go out and you'll be like, now we'll go to them tomorrow. We've got 10 a.m. We'll go tomorrow, 10 a.m. And then it will get to, I'll knock on Joe, my mate's door, like 5 to 10. He's asleep. And I'm thinking, fine, now I'll go back to bed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're just not like, you may a couple of times. Then when you realise you can get away with it and you realise it's all on you, don't get me wrong, I didn't fail one thing. I've got a couple of firsts. I did all right my first year. I did fine. I didn't complete it, but I didn't fail one thing. It wasn't even the work. It was just, my head wasn't in it. Do you know what I mean? It was like, the fact I am prioritising gym and prioritising going out and mixing people. I've always been social, but I got to the point where I didn't even want to go out because I just hated everything. Do you know what I mean? I hated so much, I didn't even want to see anyone.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, my next question was going to be like, what's your opinions on uni in terms of, do you think it's worth it? But I kind of already know what your answer is going to be to that one.
No, I don't know. It's such a hard one, because I don't know. It's a very hard one. So I think it's worth it in certain aspects. I think at the end of the day, it's an experience. Like, you're going to go there, you're going to meet loads of people. You may meet someone who you go into business with, who you absolutely kill it with, or who change your life, or you meet, do you know what I mean? Or a girl or whatever.
Yeah, it opens up different paths, doesn't it? Yeah,
definitely. Like, that's what I can't say, it's bollocks, it's not worth it, it's crap. But in my sense, I do believe that, like, if someone said you're not, like, like the older generation, like our parents sort of think, if you don't go to uni, if you don't do this, you're not going to succeed. Like,
it's that influence.
It's like, there's quotes that say, what is it? You don't need a degree to be your own boss. Like, all those sort of things. Like, it's like, if you want to be a doctor or something, fair play. If you want to go for the experience, if you love your degree, do it. Why not? Like, do you know what I mean? Why not do it if you love what you're doing? But I feel like it's not as needed as people make out. I feel like when I was in college, it was sort of, I almost got told by like my computer science teacher that you need to get this grade, you need to go to uni, obviously you're not going to succeed. And now I literally think, of course, she doesn't realise what you can earn through social media, through learning sales and marketing. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. I think the older generation, not hating on them, of course, but sometimes like, we do actually know better in terms of certain aspects like social media marketing and things like that.
Definitely.
What do you think the university, just like looking back on the experience, what do you think university kind of taught you the most about, like, yourself? Was it that you obviously didn't enjoy computer science, or was it that your head was fully into fitness? What was it?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think a bit of both. I think I really realised when you're in such like a bit in quite a down state, when you're in that sort of state and you still go gym, definitely you think, bloody hell, like, I love this. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
meditation,
not just a hobby.
Innit?
Yeah, literally, it's like a release. You go and I didn't think about anything else in the gym, just absolutely smash it. Don't get me wrong, I went in the best shape. I just enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of that. And it was also, obviously, I realised, like, I'm not gonna lie, I went in the class computer science and I just, like, it wasn't I didn't fit in. Like, a couple of boys I really liked, I got on with, I got really well with, I went gym with them. But a lot of them, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was me. Do you know what I mean? So, a bit of both.
That happens, doesn't it? It's like,
so
like, some people you're going to mix with, some people you're not, and that's like, that's not a bad thing. It's just how it is.
No, I don't, like, I would never ever say I regretted going, because I always think if I didn't go uni, I wouldn't be here now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't.
Exactly.
This would never have happened if I went uni. and I'm well grateful for what's happened now and what I'm doing now. So yeah, I don't diss uni. My girlfriend's at uni. I don't diss it. Do you know what I mean? I've got loads of mates at uni, but for me, I think there was a better path. It happened. Do you know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. So
fair enough. So you drop out of uni. I'm guessing things might be a bit dodgy with the parents. I'm not 100% sure, but what's kind of going through your mind, and what's kind of, you sat there and you think, right, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to start this PT business. What's kind of going through your mind at that point?
cool. Yeah. So to be honest, I won't go too long into it. But first of all, it was I knew in my head what I wanted to do, I think. But I was scared. Again, scared what people think. Like, I used to sit in that uni room and I'd say to my mate Joe, best mate at uni, I'd say to him, I'm going to start a fitness page tomorrow. I want to start posting fitness on Instagram tomorrow. I'd never do it. Come out of uni, I think when I dropped out of uni, I think I just started doing it. I just started doing 1 or 2 posts, got some good reaction. Obviously, I was so scared. And then I still hesitated. I went for interviews. I got for like 6th stage at Microsoft. I didn't get, right to the end of Microsoft, didn't get a job. But in my head, I think all these things happen for a reason. I went into recruitment, tried to get some good companies, got right to the end, didn't get a job. Do you know what I mean? Got all through the group interviews for everything. And I literally think now it happens for a reason. Like, it just does. Like,
it was kind of telling you to do personal branding, basically.
Yeah, literally. It was like telling me in my head that I shouldn't be going to those jobs. Like, I was trying to get them, but don't get me wrong. In my head, I knew I didn't really want them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I was trying to be like to my parents, like, oh, geez, I was still looking at apprenticeships. I didn't want to do an apprenticeship.
I was literally
about
to say that. It was like, was it that you were kind of applying for these things just to kind of satisfy like your mum or your parents and just be like, oh, I'm doing this, when really underneath it all, you're fully committed to the personal brand?
Definitely. And I think I didn't tell you this as well. At uni, I was trying. So what I was trying to do, what my plan was to build a business, come back home, and be like, Mum, Dad, I'm earning £1,000, £2,000 a month online.
It's not easy, is it? It's
not
easy.
This proves to you. Yeah, exactly. I was like, this proves to you, I'm dropping out. Like, I was trying drop shipping. You might have heard of it. Drop shipping, loads of things like that. All these social media things. I was trying them, just weren't working. Didn't have the funds behind me. Didn't know what I was doing back then, really. So yeah, and then that sort of that, and I dropped out. But yeah, it was a bit of a funny one. So yeah, so I went on a tangent. So yeah, I was applying for all these jobs, and then it's my brother, to be fair, massively. He always said, "You want to be a personal trainer? You want to be a personal trainer?" I was like, "I do." And I think people, to be honest, some like people, not to piss, but I think people basically like, I was embarrassed because I think people think, "Oh, computer science, 100k a year, PT, 20k a year, whatever." But and now I've quickly learned it's complete bollocks. If you learn right, and if you what's like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you market right, you learn right, and if you get a reputation, things blow. But I was just a bit embarrassed. So yeah, but
I think that's just on the point you're talking about, the money side of things. I think even if you were just earning 20k a year, ultimately, I think you would be happier on 20k a year than 100k a year fucking miserable office job at doing computer science, whatever, I'm guessing.
100%, yeah. So that's literally, this is a funny thing that I thought that. So I dropped out, basically thinking, screw it, I don't want to do this. Just don't worry about it, Charlie. Like, don't worry. You're going to drop out and you're taking a pay cut, but you're going to have a sick life. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to do this and do that. And yeah, I quickly learned that when you enjoy something, you do more, you push yourself more, you learn more, you invest more, and then you will earn more. Do you know what I mean? Like, now I literally think you could do anything and earn good money. Money's not everything, but money's just freedom, isn't it? Financial freedom. Like, I don't care that much how much I earn, but I always want to be. I don't want to worry about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be an issue. Do you get me?
Yeah.
100%.
That's like, I'm not.
Yeah, no, you go on, mate.
Yeah, so I was to say, like, I'm not. It's like, I'm not, like, say, money driven. But obviously, it is a goal to get to a certain stage, because obviously you can support people, help people, you can do this, you can do that. It's just freedom at the end of the day, isn't it? And the bigger your business gets, the more you earn, the more you can get. You can get a facility, you can do this, you can do that, you can travel, like, so. Yeah, sort of.
And I assume that you've kind of realised now that your putting a lot more work into developing your personal brand than you would if you were to go to a 9-to-5 office job. Like, you think about it, it's not just 9 to 5, it's till you wake up until you go to bed, isn't it?
Yeah. So I quickly learned that. I had other jobs, so obviously I worked other jobs when I was building my PT business up. And I quickly realised that even now in self-employed, and you kind of think, you do get this freedom in your head, like, I got up to a decent amount of PTs a week, I left my job, bang, I was self-employed, and I thought, you think this is going to be the life. And then there's me now, laying in bed, get 5 texts from clients at 11 p.m, and I thought, oh, screw it, I'll reply. And then I'm working at 11 p.m, do you know what I mean? You're right, it's a full-time job when you're self-employed.
Yeah,
100%.
So I actually remember when you first followed me on Instagram, I think you only had literally just like 100 followers. I think you were just kind of starting out with your whole PTing thing. Now you're on what, like over 2K or something like that?
Yeah, 2.3K or something. Yeah, so
There we go.
100%. Weird, isn't it? It is weird when you think back.
Yeah, exactly. So my question just about that was, would you have any kind of key tips for people trying to look to build their personal brand or business?
Cool. So it's funny because I look at myself now and I think, I don't have many followers, but then you're right. Like, when you look back, I've only been doing it a year and a half, 2 years, and I've gained 2,000. So yeah, I know what you mean. I think just consistency. Like, even I slack at it sometimes. I think consistency is key, but not like Gary Vee style, not like a million posts a day. But I think like, what's it called? Being open with your audience kind of thing. When I started talking to the camera, I was crapping myself, but it was the best thing I ever done, because now I think it draws more people to me, because people
100%.
sort of know you. As long as you come across well and you come across like all right, I feel like people like it. And then obviously as well, when people meet you, I've been out in moves or whatever, and people are like, oh, Charlie, and I don't even know them, and it's like I'm not like, do you know what I mean?
Celebrity in moves.
I'm thinking, how do they know me? And then I'm thinking, oh, like, I talk to the camera, they probably just know my personality from Instagram. Do you know what I mean? They know my face, and they know that I'm just chatty. So they're not. But I don't want people to be intimidated to come up to me just because I'm his personal trainer. I want to chat to everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think just even something simple like speaking to a camera, for somebody that's never met you, it almost feels like they kind of get to know you just through like seeing you speak through a camera in a weird kind of way. It's strange.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the YouTubers. Like, I feel like if I met Joey D, I was training the same gym as Joey. Do you know Joey D? Yeah. So Joe Laney. He walked into Pure Gym and he was there, and it was like, I felt like I knew him, but I didn't. Like, he don't know me, but I know him. Do you know what I mean? And that's the cool thing about Instagram and YouTube and personal branding. It's good, isn't it? It builds your reputation, and once you've got a good one, you're set.
Yeah, I think obviously that recording a lot recently has been quite big for you. Like, I've kind of been able to see your personality come through the camera. Is that one of the most proudest things that you've kind of experienced since your business, or has there been other stuff like maybe a certain transformation or the release of your app or anything along those lines? What was like the proudest achievement that you've had so far?
Cool. That is a hard one. God. You know what? It's funny because I speak about Fraser earlier. Like, it's one of those things. You think your proudest moments are going to be like getting a car or like getting a house, or like, obviously I haven't got a house, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, getting the materialistic things. And I think the proudest moment was, God, that's such a hard question. Is
it maybe like a collection of transformations, or this one person that was kind of maybe very skinny and you've built them up and they've got quite a good physique now?
God, I feel like one that I posted recently, Harry Morgan, my brother's best mate, I consider him a best mate as well, he's a legend. He sticks out to me, absolutely killed it. Another client, she won't mention her, Naja, you might have seen her on Instagram, I used to tag her loads. She absolutely killed it. Another person who just, you know, you get these people you just love to PT, and like, she bounces in a room like all over the place. I can't even stop. I'm like, 1 minute rest. I'm timing the rest period, and she's already started. And I'm like, whoa.
That's class.
Sometimes that's good. Do you know what I mean? So there is people. But I think the proudest moment for me personally was going self-employed. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was
huge
so scared. Yeah, I was crapping myself so much, but it's someone else wanted. So personally, it'd just be that, as simple as that. But yeah, honestly, the materialistic stuff and all that sort of rubbish, and it is nothing. It's just, you're right. Transformation is the best thing ever. When you get transformation, or when someone says, I feel more confident or I feel better. Even I've got loads of people won't let me post them, but even to me that's sick because I know they're happier inside. And it doesn't matter. I literally always say to people, put your pictures on the app, but it's not for me to post, it's for you to look back at. Like I want you to look back in 8 weeks, 12 weeks and say, fucking hell, like I'm unbelievable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw on your story highlights that you've got so many transformations on there now that you can't add another transformation on there because there's about like 60 of them on there.
Yeah, I was buzzed about that, to be fair. Yeah, that's why I made the other account. I was making these, I was putting on my thingy and I thought, it's better to have an account. I saw other people have an account. I'm not gonna lie, I copied other people. Like other people had an account. I thought, I'm gonna do that too. So yeah, I made an account and yeah, that was a good moment as well. I was on holiday and I wanted to add another one and it said you couldn't add anymore. And I thought, bloody hell.
Christ,
that's
good,
no.
that's so good, mate. Obviously you're like, I think you're very motivated, just like the general content that you put out on your Instagram is very like motivational, very inspiring. When did you start getting into kind of self-development and just self-care and just prioritizing yourself and just investing in yourself?
Sweet, yeah. So funny story. So I dropped out of university. I went for all those job interviews, blah blah blah. Realised I kind of thought, right, I want to do PTing, but I decided, but I think I had decided, but I was still too scared to make a move. And anyway, I followed an entrepreneur who I actually found through Mo Samuels called Eben Gardzi, and he's doing really well and he's really young. Anyway, I followed him. And I think I did follow, Fraser DeSantos. I followed him as well. He's local. And at the time, he was just sort of picking up and it looked like he was doing well. And I just followed him. And anyway, weirdest thing ever, again, if for a reason, Fraser was with E-Man. And E-Man's this big entrepreneur. And Fraser's just local around here. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, it turned out that Fraser had paid to go to a seminar to meet E-Man and to learn loads from him. And so anyway, I was in Pure Gym with my brother, and I literally said, "Should I message?" Like, basically, I was explaining to Harvey how it was. He didn't really know what was the entrepreneur, but I was like, "Right, Fraser's with this boy. I literally look up to this boy so much. I look up to Fraser. Should I message him?" Harvey was like, I'm a bit of a pussy. I was like, I typed it out. Just do it. Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah. So that's how it started. Got on a call with Fraser. Long story short, I was working at Next. Went back to Next. As soon as I got dropped out of uni, I went back to Next. I was working at Next the whole time because I was working at Next at uni. They were sick to me, to be fair. I went back there. I was working at Next, and I went into my uni overdraft to pay for mentoring. So I paid Fraser for mentoring, and that's where it will change. Like to be fair to him, it gives me goosebumps.
And looking back at that, mate, you're just like the circumstances that you put yourself under to just like invest in yourself, as you said, getting into an overdraft to learn off someone. I think that's the mindset. Obviously, don't get into an overdraft and just like accept it and be like, I'm in an overdraft. And what?
Me, yeah.
But
and another thing, like this is why people don't like investing in themselves, which is annoying because again, I come home from that day and I was like, fuck, telling my parents I've paid this boy this much money to help me. Obviously, he hasn't proven anything yet. I just know he's doing well and I want to do the same. So I'm going to pay him to let me know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a good call with him and I transferred him. I thought, fuck it. You know what I mean? You got to take risks. I think I was in a bit of a mentality where I've got nothing to lose now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did it and I come home and I thought, I'm not telling my parents. Half hour later, I told them it and they were not happy. No. Do you know what I mean? My mum was like, not setting up. My dad was what are you doing? Kind of thing. And that Fraser knows this now. It's funny.
Throat, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit like, if that wasn't bad, he's like, why would you pay someone to do like, do you know, all this sort of thing? And it's because of that. It's nothing to do with my parents personally. It's just the older generation wouldn't pay someone hundreds of pounds or whatever to learn from them. They would just learn a trade and go and do it. Whereas now we can pay for almost a shortcut. You still got to put the work in, but almost a shortcut. How have they done it? What mistakes did they make? How can you do the same thing? And that's when it all changed. Long story short, he got me into. I read The Secret. You might know The Secret.
Yeah.
That changed my life. Miracle Morning. I got them all behind me. Miracle Morning changed my life. I'm actually literally, my brother's just reading The Secret. And that's when I started getting into self-development. And I think that's when you realise when you start thinking positively, and when it's your reaction to situations. It's not the situation. It's your reaction. When you start thinking things like that, and I see you boys reading the same sort of book, just cool. Like I see you boys are the same as me. It really makes you realise that's when you sort of start not start doing well, but start just appreciating everything. Do you know what I mean? And being grateful. So that's when I'm started.
It kind of helps with confidence, I think, as well. When you realise that sounds a bit cringe, but you can kind of just like live life on your own terms. It's up to you. It's down to what you want to do, basically. I think that helps you get more confident as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. It's like when you realise your success and what you do and what grades you get and how you do this and how you go into life and what you do is literally your responsibility. Like Mo talks about it on his podcast, doesn't it? It's your responsibility. It's no one else's. It's yours, and you're right. Like when you realise that, it makes you happier and it makes you feel more grateful and it makes you feel like I'm going to be successful. I want to do this because I want to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's no one else's fault. I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely agree with that. That's sick.
So is investing in yourself something you do regularly in terms of not just maybe books, but do you ever go to seminars or anything like that as well?
Yeah, so I haven't been to any seminars recently. I went to a girl called Lauren Tickner.
Oh right, yeah,
I went to her. So I went to a seminar there. Again, may have slightly down the price what I paid. I told my parents about that. And then I also have recently as well, the biggest investment I've ever made on an online course, which did blow up my online coaching. And these are little things that people don't even know. Like, do you know what I mean? This is the thing. People think, bang on Instagram up, I want to start online coaching. Oh, I'm going to get 30 messages. It just doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly why we got you on here. Because
nice.
because you're like, obviously your personal brand has grown so much, and that hasn't been handed to you on a plate. You've had to work tirelessly for years to develop that. So
I appreciate it. It's frustrating. I do want to talk about it more. It's kind of why I started YouTube, and it's like, people do. I feel like, and it's fair enough. I don't show I'm reading this book, I'm investing this much money, I'm doing this, because you don't show things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
100%.
I can see from the outside, it does look like you bang a poll up, get 10 clients, get maybe 6 transformations, bang, and it just rolls. Like, to an extent, it does when you get to a level and you're established, obviously. But I've invested the most. I did it just after lockdown. I thought I want to sort of like change pricing. I want to do better. I've proved myself now. I'm getting transformations flowing through daily. I want to up my service, and that's what I did. I phoned Lauren again. And I was like, look, I'm ready to invest now. See it like a decent amount of money. I want the next course. And she was like, right, you're on it. And so I paid her. And it was, again, that was if I told some people what I paid for that, like, they would not be happy. Do you know what I mean? Some people would say I know some people would say you're a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? They would literally say that. But I honestly believe that as soon as I did that, like last year I went to a seminar with her. This is put into perspective. I did that. I went to her seminar, and it was 10 other PTs there. I come back the month after, my income doubled. The month after, and I honestly, I'm not saying that was stupid money. That was running. I was right at the start. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't silly money.
But it's progress, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. And that's what addicts you to it as well. And I literally feel like as well, investing in yourself, this is a big thing. As much as I learned at that seminar, I think a lot of it I already knew, but I was just too pussy to implement it. Like the polls on Instagram, like the speaking, like the personal branding. And the fact that I paid to go there, I was like, right, am I going to fucking do this now or not?
Exactly. I mean? Yeah,
you've invested.
Exactly. You're not going to put like a couple of $100. I don't know how much.
Yes, what it was, a couple £100 it was, and I thought I paid that. They've told me 50% stuff I already knew, and 50% I probably learned. I'll be honest. And I thought, right, so they've told me this twice, and I've learned this first from them. When am I going to do this, Charlotte? When are you going to implement this? Do you know what I mean? And that, I feel like when you pay,
was that fear?
Yeah, I feel like.
Was it a lot, or did you have a lot of fear, like kind of in investing in yourself? Was there kind of did you have a moment where you were thinking of buying the seminars, but you just had that fear inside of you, and like, how do you think you overcame that? Was it just like a snap kind of judgment, like, right, I've just got to go for this, like?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was sort of like, it is inspiration as well. You see people online, and even Fraser, he's gone through the same sort of thing. He invested in himself in times when he shouldn't have, but wasn't in, like, say, for example, say you got £500 in the bank and you spend 400. That's stupid. Do you know what I mean? But it might elevate you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I was telling my brother, I think I told Mum and Dad this. So when I went to that Lauren Tickner seminar, I'll go through this quickly. And when I was there, I actually signed up to another course of hers. So yeah, now I learned, she just upsold me. But I've learned how to do that to other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, she upsold me, but it did help me, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was driving home, told my brother this, I was driving home from there, and I invested. So I had about, how much did I have? So I think the deposit was like 150 I had to pay, yeah. And I had maybe like 170 in my bank account. They were going out for dinner afterwards after the seminar. I paid the 150. I had 20 left. They were going for dinner. This pizza place. I thought, fuck it, I'll go. Then there's a tenner left in my bank, and then I went. Luckily I had my return train ticket. Ran, got the train. Come back, driving home. This is no word of a lie. Petrol light comes on. I was like, fuck. And then I wasn't doing it this point. But yeah, it was just one of those times where people were paying me like in a week, I think, and I just thought, fuck, I'm investing. And then anyway, I had to. Luckily, I had like £40 cash at home, so I drove all the way home on the petrol light. Got the £40 cash. Obviously, went up there, didn't tell my mum and dad what I just done. Drove back to the petrol station, filled up, and I was like, whew. And then the next day, one of the boys who I was waiting for money from transferred me. And I literally thought, if I didn't do that, he wouldn't have paid, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, honestly, I feel like
everything happens for a reason, as you said.
Yeah, you've got to not be silly. But I do think some things I do or I pay for, stuff like this, or some things you do bring instant return, whether it's like not spiritual, but whether it's like for a reason or not. I think a lot of it is like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I watch people like H. I was watching a podcast about H. Obviously, you know H. And he said he knew I was going to blow. I knew I was going to blow. I had the motivation. I just knew I was going to blow up and do sick. But he said in the podcast, he was working on site with his granddad. And he thinks if he wasn't working on site, grafting his ass off and making music, he thinks if he was sitting at home on the couch waiting to blow up, he wouldn't have blown. He says he thinks because he was grafting as well, like it kind of rewarded him because he was grafting. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can say you're going to do well and all this, but if you're not actually trying, you can't just sit there and wait for it to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Just go back to the point where you were saying like you were almost out of money on your way home from that meeting. Surely at that point you would have kind of been maybe doubting yourself a bit. Was there a point where you were thinking, is this really me? Should I go for this? That kind of thing.
Yeah and no. Like to be fair, Fraser drilled this into me, I think, and The Secret and books like that, and a lot of him, to be fair, self-belief. I remember, this is a funny thing, he says this to me now. I remember him saying to me, if I can do it, why can't you? And fair play to him, like he's mentoring me, helped me. I remember saying to him word for word, I said, but why would people come to me? Like I actually said, why would people come to me? And now I'm completely switched. Now I'm like, why wouldn't you come to me? Do you know what I mean? Like now I'm like,
and that's that self-confidence that you've got now. Yeah.
Confidence. Like I'm quite like, I would say in person, I'm quite like not shy, but like I'll talk, but I'm not like out there. Do you know what I mean? I would say I'm not like that. But I think it's self-confidence. Yeah, it's that self-belief. And I did have doubts. Definitely I had doubts. Even now, like sometimes like someone will pay me or something will happen. And whether anyone says it or not, you're going to get like a bit of like, oh God's sake, like, oh, is this really worth it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like when you're cutting, you're going to think when you're cutting, is this worth it? Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
But you've got to think of why you started, your reason why. And you've got to think, sort of sit back and be like, look how far I've come. Why stop now? Sort of thing.
Yeah, look at a bigger picture type thing, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
So looking into the future, what are your future goals? What are your future aspirations? Where do you kind of see yourself in 5 years' time? Obviously, that's quite a long time away, but I'm thinking, what kind of businesses do you think you would have potentially made, or where do you see like your physique in 5 years' time?
Cool. That's a good question. Physique, just want to be bigger. Do you know what I mean? I just want to have committed to a bulk, which I am doing now. Committed to a proper bulk. Stop being a pussy about having abs and being lean. Do you know what I mean? Just Charlie, just put on some fat and put on some size. And yeah, just be. I'd say 5 years I want to be financially free. Like there's people will listen and say that's stupid, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? There's like it's limitless. You can do it.
Yeah.
I feel like what I've done already, there's no reason that I can't do that. Like I want to be like, I don't mean obviously like billionaire, but I mean like financially free, as in like I'm happy, I'm earning enough, I'm doing sick, I've got a house, got a mortgage,
and you want to help your family out as well. Like
that's sick. Yeah, definitely. My mum and dad had done, even though I've not told them I invest and stuff like that. They're like they didn't like it when I dropped out uni, but they couldn't do any more for me. Like I PT from home, and again, like the investing in yourself thing, people don't know how much investing in what I've done, and courses I've bought and risks I've took, like we spoke about. But if it weren't for my parents, so be it. Do you know what I mean? It's like 100%. They've helped me. Like, even it's not even monetary. It's like when we started doing the gym, my dad helped me do it. He's a carpenter, and he converted the garage into a gym. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had no money to pay him. He converted the garage into a gym, and people think, oh, I got handed this, handed that. No, my dad just is a grafter. Do you know what I mean? He'll graft and he'll do whatever he'll work Saturday and Sunday to help me. And now that's why I'd want to help him. Do you know what I mean? I feel like just you treat people how you want to be treated. Do you know what I mean? And if your parents treat you sick, you're going to treat them sick. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's a good point, mate. I think from an outside perspective, I think from what I see, you've kind of got a good environment around you. Like, your friends and family seem to push you on quite a lot. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I'd say it definitely. Yeah, so 100%. I feel like, again, like I saw you said in whatever podcast, the 5 people you surround yourself with is definitely like what you are. Like, I can't understand. Yeah, but like what you come out to be, and it's true, 100%. And it's crap because sometimes as well, you will be with like some people, or you will be out on a night out, and you'll see some people, and you stay with them for 3 hours, and then you'll feel like, and you will be a bit like, why every single person we walk past, are they slating? Or why are they going, what's she doing? What's he doing? Like so in my head, I'm thinking, I don't care what she's wearing or what he's doing or what she's doing. I just want to have a good night. You know what I mean? And you know, there's people like that, aren't there? Like, people who just are so, but the thing is, because of my job and because of reading books, you know that the only reason some people are like that is because of their own insecurities. Like, do you know what I mean? People only do that. Yeah. But yeah, I do have a good circle, definitely. Good group of friends from college and from people I've met from, obviously, like Fraser, and sort of his mates who have sort of got into as well. And yeah, I do think that's a big thing, and especially my brother. You know what I mean? My brother's a lot like me in the sense of, like, my brother's very good at thinking, fuck them, do not worry about what they think. He's not more stubborn than I am.
Yeah, and you started a clothing brand with him now. Obviously, you're wearing the hat. Plug it in. Of
course I am. So yeah, again, we started this Slavoglio. It means I want it in Italian. So
sick.
Big one, yeah. So we're starting this. We just put actually ordered some more stock in today. So we released on Sunday. We're doing masks and hats, but we want to do tracksuits, and it's just to sort of be like clothing to start with. But yeah, sort of the big thing behind that, and it's mentality. That's what's behind that. We haven't really told anyone that yet, to be fair. But yeah, it means I want it in Italian. So it's just like, I want it. Like, if the kind of slogan is sort of like, if you don't want it enough, you ain't trying. Why are you trying? Like, if you don't want it, do you know what I mean? If you don't want something enough, like, you're not going to try.
I think that's a pretty unique kind of brand name, to be fair. Like, I didn't even know that had any sort of correlation to that's actually sick.
Yeah, because me and Sam before were actually talking, like, we were saying how you started your clothing brand. We were like, oh, what the fuck's the name though? Like, I don't know what it is. I'll be honest, mate.
You just put something into Google Translate and just see what was coming out. Just like, oh yeah, that looks decent.
It makes sense now. I rate that.
It was my nan's Maltese, so we wanted to do something Maltese, but I'm going to be honest, like, loads of the words for Maltese were like, well, jibber jabber, do you know what I mean? So we had to go nearest, and Italian. They are basically Italian anyway. So yeah, that's how we found it, and it was Harvey. Harvey actually done the name. So yeah, I passed to do this. This is another 5 year, like the 5 year thing. This will be big in 5 years. I'm like, again, like, I hate. Like, I'm scared to come across. I don't want to come across cocky. But even like, you look at people like who made Here in London, and you might know Reese Wabara, who made Bagnier Devoir, however you say it. People like that, I really look up to them, and they have the mentality which I'm trying to have. It's like, this will be big in 10 years. Like, I know it because I believe it, and I'm going to work hard so it is. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't want to come across cocky. You just want to come across like, I believe in myself. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just kind of switch your mindset to instead
I get it completely.
Putting yourself down, you kind of back yourself a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I've done actually right there in my bedroom, when you read The Secret, if you would have read it, or if people who listen have read it,
might have to give it a go, mate, to be fair.
I trust. It tells you to, obviously, again, like, not about money, but it's a good thing to aim towards. It tells you to print off a check and write on the check what you want to earn in a year. And anyway, I did it, and this is a funny one as well. I did it in October, and I was working on site, doing like 40 hours a week on site for my uncle, doing labouring, and I was PTing in the evenings. And I wrote this number on this check for what I'd done in a year, and just stuck it on my wall. And it was like ambitious, but Fraser told me, you've got to be ambitious. Like, why aim low when you can aim high? If you put £1 million and you get 800k, no one's going to take the piss. Do you know what I mean? So I put a certain amount, obviously didn't put £1 million, but I put a certain amount, which is a bit out there for my sort of age. And anyway, even my mum and dad sort of looked at it and probably thought, fuck's this kid on about? And even now, like, I remember last year when it happened, I said to my mum was like, you done it, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. I was
Smashed
like,
it.
I wanted to be like,
it.
I told you I'd done it. I told you I'd do it.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, fucking now, I don't even have done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like,
mad.
Yeah, honestly, and people won't believe that. And people, obviously, very select few people have seen it because it's in my bedroom, and I wouldn't ever tell anyone what it was or show anyone it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because even me, when I put that on my wall, obviously, you can imagine, I believed, but I was a bit like, is this silly? Like, do you know what I mean? You got this number on this bit of check, and you think, am I being a twat here? Like, trust me, it works. Because I think it's because every morning you get up and you look at it, and you think,
it's just subconsciously just glare at it, just like,
definitely. You just think it's there, and you think, I'll get there. It doesn't matter if you put a date on it as well. It doesn't matter if it's not by the date or not there, but I want to get to that, and I can help more people, and do you know what I mean? Change more people's lives, sort of thing.
Yeah,
100%.
That's class. So obviously as well, going forward, we've seen that you've just kind of started a YouTube channel as well. What kind of things you plan to put on there?
So another one that's again just a personal brand. I want to do a lot of fitness stuff on there. I do want to do vlogs because I kind of want to, like I put my caption yesterday on Instagram, I kind of want to like experience more and not buy things and just like, do you know what I mean? I want like experiences, travel, not even if it's not if it's not abroad, just like not restrict myself, not be too harsh on myself, go out clubbing, go out and do this, go to a festival. Do you know what I mean? Do more, because if you've got the freedom to do it, like I'm self-employed, I can do it on a certain day, or if I've got no PTs or if I've got a Saturday off, I can do it. So yeah, that's what I want to kind of do. I just want to be sort of all free.
That's brilliant, mate. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of wrap this all up. Obviously, we're both really inspired by like your story and how far you've come. But we want you to kind of tell our listeners kind of one way they can begin to realize their potential, because that's kind of a huge thing that our podcast is all about. It's like, as you said, just realizing that you can do it. You need to take accountability for your life, and you just need to start taking action. And like, failure obviously it's a learning curve, and once you see failure as a learning curve, then you get like an unlimited amount of freedom, essentially. So would you be able to kind of give any like inspirational like advice or words to our listeners to kind of get them to go and do whatever the fuck they want, basically? Essentially.
I would say, cool, that's hard. So I'd say self-belief, start reading. If you're not reading now, start reading. Like, I'm a bit crap at the minute, I'm not reading too much, but start reading. That changed my life completely. Even little things like Tony Robbins, people like that, you've got to listen to him on YouTube. So research Tony Robbins, he's amazing. Watch things like Conor McGregor, Bugsy Malone, research their stories. These people are doing well for a reason. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of people I look up to, even if they're not in fitness, it doesn't matter. And read books and just visualize. Visualization is the best thing ever. If someone else has done it, there's no reason you can't do it. One thing I always thought myself as well is, I saw people doing well, but they all had 10, 20k followers. And I always thought, you've got to be unbelievable to do it, or you've got to have a massive chest. Do you know what I mean? You've got to live unreal to do this, and you've got to be like some Insta model to be successful, and it's absolute crap. Do you know what I mean? There's people earning 20k a month who've got 1,000 followers. Do you know what I mean? Like it just is. So yeah, I'd just say self-belief. The biggest thing is self-belief, and I'd say don't let anyone down you. Don't listen to you, especially the older generation. Like, there's limitless possibilities. If you believe in it and you work hard enough at it, you'll succeed. You'll do it. There is no doubt at all. And even when I say things like, I'm out when we start the clothing brand, I said to Mum, I'll smash it. Like, there is no doubt. I know I'm going to smash it. And it's just self-belief, limitless self-belief.
Right. Motivation, man. Love that. So the next question is a bit of a more selfish question, just for me and Sam, but who is one person that you'd recommend we get on this podcast?
Cool. Jesus.
Doesn't have to be somebody you know. It could be literally anybody.
Obviously, someone who'd want to come on, not fucking like Gymshark influencer, or
I've got to say, get Fraser on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
get Fraser
Rate
on it.
that.
Fraser Santos. Because he's again that similar person, similar we surround himself with. And I wouldn't be in this mentality if I didn't contact him. So yeah, he'll do it, and he knows his stuff. And do you know what I mean? He's the one who showed me to read all these books. So.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I was going to say, like, obviously, there's obviously other people like Mo Samuels and all these sort of people, but again, actually, you might know this. Mo replied, and I've sent him a hat and some masks.
No way.
Really?
Fair.
Class.
Yeah. No,
yeah, that's one of our aims, to be fair,
so
is to get Mo Samuels on.
Really, yeah. Trust. You just
it'll happen.
Get at him. Has he replied to DMs before? Yeah.
Well, the last time I messaged Mo was actually after an event, and I was a bit out of it by that point. And I met him on the night, and then he went home, and I messaged him. I was like, "Oh, you're such an inspiration, man!" All this cringy shit. I woke up, I was like, "Oh, I thought, why did I send that?" Absolutely wet.
All loved up.
I was all loved up. But yeah,
definitely get Fraser on there. Give him a text.
Will do. I have to drop him a DM, mate. But one final thing is also, because we have been talking about books as well, on your story, I saw you were reading The Power of Now. It's by Eckhart Tolle, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Have you finished reading that yet?
No, I haven't finished reading that.
Have you not?
No.
What are your thoughts on it so far, anyway?
I'm not that far into it. I feel like I'm not far enough to say, but I feel like it's very, very spiritual.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying?
It is.
Very. Yeah. I'm getting a funny response from you two. Is it a bit different? Is it?
It is very different. Yeah.
I found it really interesting. Just it kind of like changed the way I perceive certain things and stuff like that. So definitely give it a read. I don't know if it won't carry over into like business skills or anything, but it's just a proper interesting book I found.
Yeah, I feel like it's how you see things, isn't it, and how you do things and how you think about certain ways. I think that's what I'm getting from it at the minute. And why you not doing this now when you could be doing it now? I don't know, but yeah, it does seem very like not odd, but you could say odd.
Yeah, it is a very odd book.
Yeah, I think after you read it all, you'll look back on it and just be like, "Fucking hell, I'm not reading that again. That was a mind fuck."
Yeah, I think I've personally learned a lot throughout this podcast, so thank you very much for coming on, Charlie. It's been great to have you on.
That's all right. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, boys.
No worries, mate. But where can people find you? What's your socials?
So yeah, literally Charlie Lay is Ley on Instagram, and then just Charlie Lay on YouTube. What I've got in it, Instagram and YouTube, yeah.
All right,
easy peasy.
I'll whack them in the description as well, because obviously me and Sam do give out like fitness informational content on here, but at the end of the day, we're not qualified personal trainers. So if you're looking to get in shape, then hit up Charlie, check out some of his transformations. Some of them absolutely unreal.
They are.
Get on that.
Thank you.
No worries, mate.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that, boys. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So that was our first guest that we've had. If anybody enjoyed this episode and you found value in kind of what Charlie spoke about today, do share it with a friend, because I think Charlie's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. So, and if you take his advice, then I'm sure you're gonna go a long way. So yeah, mate, quality having you on here. Just want to say thanks for that. And
thank you.
We'll be back in the next episode.